My name's Craig Sims, and I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Spin Master.
You built your career around licensing in a big way there, right?
I did. I've been in licensing for 16 years. It's good.
And can you tell us what Spin Master is known for?
Spin Master is known for innovation. We are known for creating great product. We're known for having a lot of fun. And we're really known for really creating category-busting ideas that I feel move the toy industry forward.
What are some of the properties that people would know from Spin Master?
You know, recently Hatchimals has been a really big idea that really converted. We have Paw Patrol, which has been amazing, and that's been a combination of a few different things, including media, including real storytelling. We're known for air hogs. We are known for games. We are known for licensing. We've just done a great deal with Monster Jam. We've done a great deal with DC. We have a great relationship with the guys at Universal Studios. We just had a great year with How to Train Your Dragon. And there's so many other things. We're known for kids gaming. We acquired Toca Boca, which is a great studio out in Stockholm. So there's a lot of good stuff.
And you have a pretty cool accent. Where are you from? What's your story? How did you get into the toy industry?
So I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa, sunny South Africa, and I got into the business when I joined Spin Master. I was living in London. I moved to Toronto, had the good fortune of joining at a really great time back in 2003, which is when we launched Mighty Beans in the US. And then soon after that, we launched Bakugan about a few years later. So it was super interesting. I was in Toronto, and then we opened up an office in Los Angeles, and I moved here about 12 years ago.
It's pretty interesting. What made or what inspired a Toronto Canadian-based company to open up an office in LA? What strategic advantage did this city provide a toy company from Canada?
I think a lot of opportunity. I think both from the studios, but also from the talent. There's so many great toy companies here. Mattel's been here since its inception, and I think they've really anchored LA and made Los Angeles an incredible place for talent to come. Everybody wants to move to Los Angeles because it's a great place. The weather's great. You know, we have beaches, we have mountains. There's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of culture. So it's a much easier sell for people to come to LA. And we have a great office here now. We have 150 people. So I think it's that combination together with the fact that Mattel set a trend for buyers to come to Los Angeles because they had their showroom here. So I think a lot of us have benefited from that, and also open showrooms in LA, which allows for a better flow of presenting product, trying to sell product, and just moving the industry forward.
Can you talk to us about how new media has changed the toy industry, whether it's apps or YouTube influencers?
Yeah, I think it's having a profound effect because kids look. There's always been influences, as we know. People have been influencing for years. I just feel now kids have the power to be exposed to so many influences, whereas before the internet, before YouTube, before this democratization of content, so to speak, you could only see things that PBS decided to show you or Nickelodeon. But now there's just so much room for influencers, and as we know, just like yourself, very talented people like yourself, this gives people a voice, and it's always going to be the case that great content is going to find an audience, and I think that's what influencers are doing now in a way that they've never been able to do. They were always there, they just didn't have the voice.
Can you give us a quick licensing 101?
Yeah. Licensing is a great business. It's a great business model. It's essentially the opportunity to partner with an IP owner, and you kind of rent that brand equity, and you're able to offer it to an established fan base. It's also great because it allows for a lot of collaboration, between companies, where you have great talent on the one side, on the licensor side, and then on the licensee side, and that's an art as well as to how to integrate and to really work together with licensors. And it's the opportunity to essentially lock up certain rights or to be granted certain rights. And then you're able to manufacture their product under license. The licensor still is involved, they have approvals, and for that you get to pay them a royalty. And you get to really benefit from all the investment that they're making into their content, be it a TV show, a movie, app, a game. There's so many different things that you can license. So you can license TV show, movie, both of them, a book, you could license a design. So it's a massive industry, and it's a very creative industry, licensing.
So the sequel to one of the most successful toy licenses just came out this weekend with Frozen 2. When the first one came out, I remember the frenzy of every retailer looking for it. Can you speak to that? And were you guys involved at all in Frozen?
Not so much. The Frozen opportunity really revolves around dress up and dolls, and they have great licensees in that regard. But Frozen was extremely interesting because, when everybody first saw it, apparently, there weren't great expectations for the toy line. I'm not sure if that was based on there weren't great expectations for the movie, but I think nobody really knew what Frozen was because Disney hadn't allowed people to see it, and it just blew everybody away. I think the storytelling, the music, it was just such an incredible movie that girls and families just really wanted to be part of that brand. I mean, I remember I was singing the song. I was like, "Let it go, let it go." Yeah, everybody was singing. Everybody was singing it. So, but then it comes out to how do you follow up, and that's the interesting thing about owning brands and nurturing brands, and that's where Disney's done such an unbelievable job at continuing the storytelling, expanding the universe, and bringing new fans into the franchise. It's a big responsibility because you have so many fans now that are waiting for the sequel. But when the sequel's done right, it's a beautiful thing. When it's not done right, it's not a beautiful thing.
You earlier talked about, maybe a little too casually, but the #1 preschool brand in the industry with Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
First and foremost, can you sing the song?
Paw Patrol! Yeah, for sure I can sing the song.
We won't put you on the spot. But what I find the most fascinating about Paw Patrol is its toyetic nature. It's the toys were at the core of the content.
Right.
Can you talk about how Paw Patrol came to be and ultimately kind of took over the preschool aisle?
Yeah, for sure. And listen, there's a lot of people that know more about Paw Patrol than I do. But from my knowledge, it really came about with a real desire. We didn't know it was going to work, but we had this desire to really create something that was magical, not just on the toy side, but on the storytelling side. And that's one of the things that I and everybody at the company is really proud of, that this is a great show, first and foremost. It's got great values, there's great story arcs, and people can watch it over and over again. And the song is really good. So, even my buddies in South Africa, they're singing the song to me. As I was saying earlier, on the licensing side, it's a beautiful thing when you have a license that really helps you sell, and you don't really have to push the product up the hill. Like there's such a fan base. There's people that want to really participate in the brand that they buy it, and that's where, that's why you can afford the higher royalty rate, because all licensed products, for the most part, are slightly more expensive than non-licensed. That's because you can afford that premium because of the goodwill. So Paw Patrol has really allowed us to create amazing toys where we can plan out story arcs and we can, plan out this expansion of this universe. But we also, it's not something that, we take lightly, because you don't want to all of a sudden, as they say, jump the shark. And you have to stay authentic to the brand. And that can be challenging sometimes.
Why should people care about the toy industry as a whole?
People should care about this industry because we create things. We tell stories. And those are the most powerful things that help people really use their imagination. And it really creates memories. Like there's a Netflix show that I'm sure you've watched.
Toys That Made Us.
Yeah, The Toys That Made Us. And if you look at somebody that, that's an adult, and they're talking about their first G.I. Joe, or they're talking about their turtle. Yeah, and it's amazing how it stays with you, throughout your whole life. So I think that's why people should care about the toy industry, because when you can create products for children at such an amazing age where the world's still full of adventure and excitement and imagination, that's a great place to be.
One of our hypotheses is that there's play in various other tangent industries, and we've been studying them. Are there any industries that inspire you where you're kind of mining insights or best practices and applying them to our world or the toy industry as a whole, or even Spin Master specifically?
It's very much, there are two aspects. I think there's trend, and then there's core. And when I say core, Hatchimals is a great example. It's not necessarily a trend that you want to recreate that birthing experience. It's a core play pattern where people have always imagined, can this thing hatch? And when we were able to make something hatch, that was striking a core play pattern that will never go out of fashion. The other great thing about the toy industry is that we get to participate in trends. And as you know, trends can come from anywhere. They can come from basketball teams or music artists or apps, songs. So being part of the toy industry really requires you to be on top of trends and really have a passion, for those things.
Craig, final question. What does KidHeart mean to you?
KidHeart means Steve. It means that you're a kid at heart. And I love what you're doing because, you come in here and you're just asking questions, and you've surrounded yourself by great people in the industry. You have, really great friends. And it's a way for you as an influencer to find a voice and to help the toy industry and to help us tell our story. And I think that's very cool.